Bristol City have their new head coach. They have their man, and Gerhard Struber is that man. And Gerhard Struber will be the new Bristol City head coach. The Austrian has joined on a 3-year deal with a contract running up till 2028, the summer of 2028, and will replace the outgoing Liam Manning. And just over 2 weeks, about 2.5 weeks since Liam has left the football club, Bristol City have finally appointed their new head coach. The press conference, the unveiling of Gerhard Struber as the new manager was done today with him and with John Lansdowne. I've just had a quick watch of that. Sorry for the delay in recording and uploading this. I've just had my final A-level exam today, this afternoon, so timing's been a bit off. Literally, Struber, well, I got the notification that we're going to make an appointment. The official appointment was going to come at 1 o'clock. That was literally half an hour before the start of my exam, so it was a bit crap. Anyway, doesn't matter now. Struber's in through the door. We've known Struber was going to come in for the past few days. He was one of two names. Rob Edwards and Gerhard Struber were the two names that Bristol City were sort of heavily linked at and looked like the two fellas that were on the final shortlist. And then a couple, like maybe a day or so after, Struber definitely sort of took the front, jumped to the front of the queue and looked like the leading candidate, and that is how it's transpired. And Gerhard Struber has landed the job. Main takeaways from the press conference that I've just watched is a lot of talk on young players, youth development, mention of his Salzburg team who went to Benfica, I think, and had the youngest team that ever fielded in the Champions League. I think certainly the youngest 11, and went there and won in Benfica. So a lot of focus on that, a lot of talk on, what will Struber do, how is he going to balance, youth development with quality and recruitment, improving the team. We might well talk about someone that might be coming in through the door very soon, actually. So a lot of talk about that, which I was quite intrigued about. There wasn't really, from what I can remember, not really had a lot of talk when Manning came in through the door about the young players, the recruitment, it's just youth development in general. But a lot of talk about that, and clearly Struber didn't wince at any of the questions, repeated questions of youth development. He certainly looked like he was sort of fully in, and definitely looks like the manager who looks like the type of manager who wants youth development to flourish. Also mentioned, can't just give them pity points and can't just give them game time because youth development matters and stuff like that. Got to be ready. And I say to that, yeah, great, fantastic. If young players are ready, well, they're just as good as someone we could sign in for a couple of million quid. Well, might as well give the young player the chance. It's all about maximising your taking advantage of situations. And Bristol City historically, very recently, have had a really good academy and a really good recruitment process in the academy, and we've taken advantage of that through some serious big money sales. Joe Bryan, Alex Scott, Bobby Reid, and now we've got players in the first team at the moment who have come through the academy, local stuff like that. Max O'Leary, Cam Pring, Zach Viner, just three of the names that come to mind immediately. And then even this summer, Seb Palmer Holden was sold on for profit to Gillingham, and outside of youth development, we've also got a really sort of core young squad that's, I think, ready to develop and progress. Notably, Josh Stokes, who received a new contract extension just yesterday, who's a really exciting player. But even before that, on top of that, players last season who flourished and played loads of games for Bristol City, really young core. Average age is really relatively low. And look, it's all good talking about youth development, young players, stuff like that, developing players, making them better. But ultimately, Gerhard Struber's got to win games, and I heard a lot of stuff from him, which gave me a really good sort of feeling. And I had to say I was a little bit skeptical of the appointment. Maybe the two names that eventually sort of got into the fray, the final saying for Bristol City in Edwards and Struber. I was really impressed with what Struber had to say, and clearly you can tell the guy's a good speaker, and he presented himself really well to Lansdowne and Tinian. So yeah, no no qualms about it, and I'm actually feeling a lot more positive about Gerhard Struber than I was probably a couple of days ago when the news broke that he was probably the front runner. So really impressive. The talk about him, his style of play, his ambitions for the football club, stuff like that. Cutting his Ibiza trip short to join Bristol City. Brilliant, wonderful stuff. Let's talk about a little bit more about his style of football because I didn't really talk about it in the last video, so we'll talk a little bit about that. High intensity, lots of running. You've got to sign players. You've got to have players that fit that model because if you sign players that aren't willing to run, aren't willing to do exactly what he wants you to do, well, you'll be out of the team. And if you've spent big money on that player, they're going to be out of the team no matter what. So uh, City have been doing that for a couple of years now anyway, but the recruitment is going to be very, very focused on style of football, and that's brilliant, and that's absolutely perfect. It's going to be high intensity. It's going to be vertical passing. It's going to be direct. It's going to be. You mentioned a lot about control, and that's what we eventually want to build up to, and stuff like that. Lot of buzzwords in there, but generally fast attacking football. Want to excite the fans. Stuff like that is what we want to hear as fan bases. So look, you can't read too much into that sort of stuff because all managers will say that. All managers will paint a very pretty picture of their style of football, and it's going to work and stuff like that. But I was impressed, and I was happy to hear, how he wants to win games of football for Bristol City, and this is a guy that hasn't really changed from 6 years ago when he was at Barnsley when he did the exact same thing in England. So absolutely fascinating stuff. Welcome, Gerhard Struber, and he's going to have some job on his hands, and he's going to have an exciting job on his hands. One of probably the most attractive propositions in the Championship, and when Manning left and when the rumours really started to heat up, I think one of the main responses was, well, this is a really good job, so we've got the capabilities of hiring a really good manager. And I think we've done that. And John Lansdowne mentioned, they weren't looking at a large range of managers; they were looking at a sort of compact list and managers to sort of fit the style of play that been developing over the past few years, which has gradually become more and more intense and high pressing and stuff like that. All the buzzwords, all the cliches, which football managers and football chair owners and chairmen love to throw out and at you. So yeah, welcome to Gerhard Struber. A fantastic sort of opening start from him, and he looks like he's going to have a centre midfielder join him very, very soon. And it looks like the first Bristol City signing of the Gerhard Struber era will be Plymouth Argyle captain midfielder Adam Randall, and it looks like he'll be having a medical tomorrow, and it looks like it's pretty much all done from a Bristol perspective. And well, I'll be talking a lot more about Randall once it's officially announced, but I will briefly talk about his characteristics and what he could potentially bring to the Bristol City team and squad. City are pretty well stocked already in midfield. We've got trying to name them: Knight, Bird, Williams, McGuane, 4 midfielders in the football club, natural midfielders anyway, and they've got a nice sort of variety of abilities. Williams is a bit more bitey and defensive, and just very good defensive midfielder. Bird is sort of pass, control. Knight is very much a Duracell bunny, as I like to call him on this channel, and Randall is a nice mix of all of that, I'd say, combined. McGuane as well is a very, control, tempo, stuff like that. I'd say Randall's a nice mix of all of that. He's certainly got, his work rate is efficient, it's brilliant, and he will run a lot, similar to Jason Knight, and maybe not on the same level technically as Max Bird, but still, very good passer of the ball, and he's got a very good overall sort of structure and build about him. So I'd like to see how he fits into this Bristol City midfield. We're still unsure, really, on how Struber will set up the midfield. We know what to expect from the forward regions. Obviously, this will also depend on Jason Knight's future at the football club. There have been reports that this is not a direct replacement for Knight. I'd hope not, but yeah, there's a lot of good things about this signing, and the fact that there's a relegation clause in his contract at Plymouth after he got relegated with them shows that we're taking advantage of a advantageous situation. So we've got him for a fraction of the price that he would have cost in a normal sort of situation. And yeah, so it's good that we're taking advantage of it. I'd like to see how he fits into the Bristol City team. Again, as I mentioned, still unsure on how Struber will set up this Bristol City midfield, whether it's going to be a 3 or 2. That's sort of a little bit irrelevant. Obviously, number of midfielders matter, but sort of relevant because how does he fit into the overall system? What's his job going to be? Is it going to be a Max Bird sort of role, or is it going to be a lot skewed towards a Jason Knight sort of role, or is it going to be somewhere in midfield, somewhere in the middle? Sorry. So I'm happy with this. I quite like this signing actually, and I would have liked to sign Adam Randall. And if this was a summer transfer target for the end, literally after the season, I would have been very happy with it. So yeah, I quite like this signing. Let me know your thoughts on Adam Randall. Looks like he'll be a new Bristol City player, and he'll be adding to a pretty well stocked midfield. But that is it. The main story, obviously, Gerhard Struber, his appointment, all of that good stuff. Welcome to Struber. Welcome to Bristol City. It is a mad club. It is a mad football club, but it is as he says, a sexy one. So yeah, will be fascinating to see how this all develops, and massive welcome to him to the West Country. And yeah, Adam Randall will be moving just a little bit further up north to the to the best bit of the West Country as well. But yeah, a brilliant start and a brilliant day, and it looks like exciting times after a bit of jeopardy for City after Liam Manning left. So yeah, a fantastic day, and Struber's presented himself really well. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Let me know your thoughts on Gerhard Struber, Adam Randall, all of the Bristol City news, the major news that we've been sort of told about. And yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And yeah, how are you feeling about all of this? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Keep safe, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.